Human beings have always been fascinated with stories of revenge. A noble character has his or her life rudely interrupted by some extreme wrongdoing. This character is then set on an exciting adventure in search for vengeance. You cheer him on. You resonate with his pain because you can connect with the feeling of desiring retribution for actions judged as evil. This is why justice is so widely desired. But what happens to turn that justice into vengeance? And more importantly, what happens to those of us who become consumed with that vengeance? Let's take a look at this cautionary tale from Avatar the Last Airbender and learn a lesson from Jet. We first see Jet as this Robin Hood-like figure with his band of merry men roaming the woods as freedom fighters. They spend their days lounging in tree houses and fighting off soldiers of the tyrannical Fire Nation. These freedom fighters have all lost something or someone to the Fire Nation that rampantly destroys towns and displaces families in their imperialistic attempt to control the world. And for Jet, that pursuit resulted in the death of his mother and father at 8 years old. At first we see Jet and his crew as noble and brave, fully justified in their guerrilla warfare against Fire Nation soldiers. However, it's not too long until we begin to doubt this character we have seen. One day, Jet and his crew come upon an elderly Fire Nation man with a walking stick, traveling alone. The man begs for mercy, and to this Jet responds, "Does the Fire Nation let people go? Does the Fire Nation have mercy?" At this moment, we begin to see the truth, that Jet, in using the actions of the Fire Nation to justify his own, is actually aligning himself with the characteristics of his enemy. He does not see a helpless old man in the forest. He sees the personification of a nation that killed his parents, in the same way that a Fire Nation soldier would have only seen his mother and father as an obstacle to the glorious expansion of the country to which they are utterly loyal, and not as loving parents with a child to raise. In his search for vengeance, Jet's justification of unnecessary violence leads to him planning the destruction of a Fire Nation village and everyone inside, including families and children. An uncanny reflection of the same tragedy that created him and his freedom fighters. After being stopped by Sokka and the rest of Team Avatar, Jet disbands the freedom fighters in an attempt to leave that life behind him. We later see him encounter Zuko and Uncle Iroh, Fire Nation royalty, hiding peacefully within the Earth Nation. Jet quickly suspects them as being Fire Nation, and despite reminders from his friends of his desire to leave that life behind him, he simply cannot do it. He ignores their concern that he has become obsessed and that this pursuit of Zuko and Iroh is not healthy. This eventually leads to his arrest, an arrest that results in his death. Jet's unyielding search for vengeance became his downfall, and even more tragic than his death is the notion that in the end, he became just like the people that destroyed his life. I see Jet's story as a cautionary tale. That the reason that people say, leave it to karma or God to repay evil is not necessarily for the sake of the one that committed the evil, but for us. It is so that we do not become consumed with vengeance, to the point that we ourselves become indistinguishable from those who hurt us. I will leave you with these often quoted words from Romans. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. I believe Jet's story sheds a new light on these words, and is a necessary lesson for us to carry through life.